Did you make that?
Pardon?
Did you make that purchase? Wayne, did you make that purchase?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yes, I
Okay,
did.
Just asking.
I did.
Okay, just asking. One of the members and I went down this week and we purchased more silver. Silver has went up. I looked at the price of when I bought pieces years ago compared to now. The value of my commodities portfolio has close to doubled, if it hasn't doubled already. When I look at that, I'm proud of myself for making purchases then, not realizing how it's going to affect me in the future. One of the things that we look at is we look at the chances and opportunities that we had that we didn't move on, and we want to kick ourselves in the butt. So we want to stop that. What we want to do, Stacy's from East Flatbush, what we want to do is we want to give people the confidence to be able to make decisions knowing that they might not understand it right now, but in the long run, it will work out for them in the future. And purchasing silver and gold at the time that I purchased it, the very first time, I look at the value and it's doubled. So there's nothing that I know of legally that would have given me that option that I did years ago. So just wanted to share that with you. So I'm happy because some of you guys are involved in commodities market now when it comes to silver and gold. I put in the room the 47th Street. Whenever you guys see that image of 47th Street, that means I'm making a run to the Gold and Diamond District. So I say start out with one piece per month, whatever floats your income, and just buy one piece a month, and you'll be surprised. At the end of the year, you're going to have 12 pieces, but I guarantee you, you're going to get the bug. You're going to start getting rid of stuff that you don't need, and then you're going to try to convert that into gold and silver. So that's the gold and silver. Oh, and matter of fact, she's actually the person that actually we purchased from. We're going to interview her. So we're going to set that up, and she's going to teach us how to buy gold and silver. Got it? So just wanted to share that with you guys. All right, so we got 13. So let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about taxes. I'm going to share my screen. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Okay, got it. You guys know the disclaimer. If you see something pop up, don't just be careful. Just give me a second to get out of it. So, okay, guys, taxes. What do you guys know about taxes? You guys can see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. What do you guys know about taxes? What are taxes spent on? What's the purpose of taxes? The taxes are collected by the federal government, the state government, and the city governments. Taxes are supposed to pay for things that the government are actually used to run itself. Nice and simple. Is that a straight answer? Is that good enough? Yes, no?
Yes.
We got everybody on mute, right? Okay. So what I'll do is I'll run through it, okay? And then we'll do the questions and answers at the end. So can you guys see this? 10 things that taxes pay for?
Yes.
Where do your federal taxes go? Because a lot of people are like, where does my money go? My taxes are being taken out of my paycheck every 2 weeks. Where's my money going? So this is a very good article, and I'm going to show you guys real quick. And remember, this is not the finite. This is a very, very good, strong understanding of where it's going. You can actually go to the federal government website, and they will tell you exactly dollar for dollar where the money's going when it comes to your taxes. Now, the number one thing is what? Can everybody see that?
Yes.
You guys see that?
Government debt.
Where's the money going?
Government debt.
Government debt. Now, I'm not going to talk about this, but my question is, who is this debt owed to? Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone know the answer?
Us.
Good. That's a good response. Who's that?
The
It's
federal.
owed to the people who buy our treasuries.
Bingo. People will buy the treasuries. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Not today, but I just want to show you that the number one reason that taxes are being collected is going to government debt.
Government debt.
Two is Social Security. Number three is Medicare. Four is other health care. What I'll do is I'll share this in the room so you guys can look at it. National defense. Now, what I want to do, I want to show you guys something when it comes to this. When you're looking at businesses and you're looking at government contracts, you may want to think about how you can actually start a business that's actually going to be part of this situation where you can actually get some of this funding when it comes to Social Security, Medicare, national defense, veterans benefits. So what I'm saying is that you may want to look at how can I receive some of this tax money that's being collected by the government, and what business can I do to service them so that I can get that. So again, this is again when it comes to the business part of it, understanding your focus of where you want to go. Education, infrastructure, salaries and wages, we have no control of. Okay, so just want to show you guys where this federal government is spending their money or your money, so you guys can get a clearer picture of it, why it's being collected. So, okay, guys, so just wanted to show you that. So now you guys know about the tax form, right? Are you guys familiar with this tax form?
Yes.
Okay, got it. This is the individual tax form. We're going to talk about personal taxes this week. So now you guys, if you ever filled out your tax form, and Stacey, I'm going to need your help on this. You guys see, this is the 1040 form. This is, it used to be called the 1040 EZ. It was like a 1-page or 2-pager. Very simple. It's what a lot of people use because they don't understand the game of money. So now all of this information is whatever it is. I don't know if I showed you guys this. This is a new line that was added last year. Do you guys see that? See that? See that? Okay. So what does that mean? Wayne, you know what that means, Wayne. Wayne, you there? Okay. This involves cryptocurrency. See that?
Why does that matter?
Because they want to track it
They want to track it. Also, they want to see
and tax it.
and tax it. That's very simple. They want to tax it. That's it. The viability of cryptocurrency is actually put on the federal government radar now because a lot of people are using it now. So now they have to figure out a way to tax it. This wasn't on there, I believe, 2 years ago. It just dropped in there. That line just dropped. Got it? So now, all this is self-explanatory. Dependence, we all know what that is. That's how many children you have, or that's how many people that are dependent upon your income. Got it? A lot of talk now is about tax credits. Okay. So now we've got, when you fill out your form, remember on that line, the wages, how much money you made for the year. That's what this is. Wages, salaries, tips, blah, blah, blah. What we're looking at now is we're talking about deductions and exemptions and all that. So what they're going to do from here to here, quote unquote, they're going to add up all of your income. That's wages, salaries, interest, dividends, distributions, IRA distributions, pensions. You know what's funny? What's on here? You know what's not on here? Divorce. I wonder if divorce payments are part of income.
Alimony? Interesting.
It's not on here. See that?
It should be.
And that's very good. That's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
Again, adding all this up, the total income, that's going to be your total taxable income. So all the money that you've made for the year, what's your total taxable income? So now we got that figured out. Okay, so now we're going to move to adjustable income, where what's going to happen is all of your deductions are going to be placed in these boxes here. Okay. So now what I want to show you guys is we don't have a lot of deductions when we do the standard form when it comes to personal taxes. One thing that we don't do is we don't itemize our deductions. And there's another form right here, okay? Itemized deductions. Now, when you have itemized deductions, you're able to deduct more of your income, taxable income. That's what this page is here for. Again, what we do is, because we don't know this, we don't know how to save more money. And that's the key. So now all of this line, now your tax preparer is going to do all of this for you. Your job is to make sure that you understand what's on this piece of paper and what's the data and information is correct. Now you can actually have more deductions, but if your tax preparer, if you're not having a conversation with your tax preparer, they don't know that you can qualify for these deductions. This is why you have to have a good tax preparer as part of your team, as part of your unit for wealth preservation. So they know exactly how to have the conversation, what to ask of you. You know what? Well, didn't you do this? Didn't you donate this? All of these things are part of tax deductible income. And that's the key. Again, we don't know this stuff. We go down to H&R Block or whatever at the pop-up shops, and they're randomly just doing stuff. And next thing you know, you owe the government because the information and data wasn't filled out. Remember, whoever fills this out, they are not held accountable because it's yours and you're signing this document and you're sending it in. And you can have a whole bunch of tax preparers that don't know what they're doing, but you're signing and you're responsible. Naima, you said something, you saw something this week. Can you speak, Naima?
I'm available now. Yes.
Can you say something about what you saw?
Oh, I was watching the People's Court a few days ago. And so the plaintiffs, they were suing their CPA. The CPA told them they were W-2 employees. So the CPA told them that they could save all of their receipts and claim whatever tax they paid or whatever they paid for as deductions. And so they submitted their taxes and the IRS would not accept it. And they had to pay almost $6,000 back to the IRS.
Now, what was the outcome of that court
They
proceeding?
lost and the CPA was not responsible,
Got it.
was not held liable.
Was not held liable. So this is, let's be clear. Again, this is your document, this is your information. Your job as a financial literate person is to understand what's on this document and make sure that it's correct. Who says that the tax preparer did not make an error? It's possible. I've seen it. It's done. Is it by fault? I don't know. But people are human, and anything that's dealing with the human can be cannot be error-free. There may be something going on. You know, you'd be surprised. The decimal point might be in the wrong place. The zero might be added. You just never know what can happen. And remember, it's your document. So just wanted to share that with you. The important part is what I'm looking at is understanding your deductions, understanding your taxable income. Some income is not taxable. Are we clear on this?
Yes.
Once we understand this. So now when you're looking at all of this stuff, and it's really not scary, because if you look at it long enough, you'll start to understand it. I'm going to share that with you in just a second, because it's key. I asked you guys to look at Humans on Netflix, the first episode, just the first half an hour. I'll share that with you because what happens is they talked about the brain, they talked about neurons, they talked about learning and how the more you learn, the more neurons are developed, and the more you think, the faster you think, and you start to understand a lot of this stuff. I'm used to this because I look at it all the time. Someone who's not used to it will not get it. But if you look at it long enough, and if you study it long enough, you'll start understanding it, and it starts to make sense. Just wanted to share that with you. Just like any other thing that you do repetitiously over and over and over again, you do it so much that it's second nature. Okay, so just wanted to share that with you guys. So now we got itemized deductions. So now what's going to happen is once you get your full taxable income without the deductions and with the deductions, when you get all that done, there's going to be a certain number that the government says, this is how much that we are going to tax you on. One thing that you have to understand is that the government is constantly taking taxes from you every single day. They're going to take that. It's set up that way. It wasn't like that before, but it's set up that way now. So they are going to take their taxes now. So what's going to happen is at the end of the year, you're going to figure out how much money you have made, how much is going to be taxed by the government. So now what's going to happen is you're giving them this report and you're saying to them, this is how much income that you were supposed to tax me on. Now remember, they already took the taxes from you. So now you're giving them a report, this is how much money. So now if they took more taxes than they were supposed to, you're going to get a what?
Tax return?
A tax return, got it. You're going to get a return. If they took more money than they were supposed to, you're going to get a return. If they didn't take more than they were supposed to, what happens?
You owe.
You owe. Got it. Nice and simple. That's it. So if they didn't take more than they were supposed to, you're going to owe them. Clear on that? Got it. So now, what we're going to do, the tax brackets. This is the new tax bracket of 2020. This changed last year, right? Last year, a year and a half ago, when Trump came into place. So now what's going to happen is this. If you make, you guys see this? This is your tax bracket.
Yes.
Single filers, we got married. So if you make in between this, this is your tax rate. This is how much money they are supposed to take from you, taxable income. Got it? Are we clear on this?
Yes.
Okay, now if you make this much money or more, this is your taxable income. This is how much they're supposed to take from you, from your taxes. So now, what does this mean? If I'm making income and I'm earning income, and no matter how much money I made, if my taxable tax bracket is here, the government is only taking 10%. How do you become at this taxable income tax bracket? You have to have deductions, you have to have tax credit, you have to have these things that will reduce your liability when it comes to taxes. Do you ever notice how at the beginning of tax season, people are always looking for children to put on their tax return? What are they looking for when it comes to the children? What number are they looking for?
Child credit.
Well, they're looking for their social security number.
Yeah.
You ever notice that? People are like, I need a deduction. I need more children. What we have to ask our tax preparer is not, and let me be clear, it's not how to pay less taxes. Let's look at this from a different angle. Don't ask how not to pay less taxes. Ask your tax preparer, how do I receive more back from taxes? Do you understand what I just said? I just want to make sure we have that clear.
Yeah.
Because remember, the government is going to take theirs no matter what. The object is for you to return or receive more back. So as a tax preparer, you should ask them, how can I receive more income back that's mine. So your tax preparer is supposed to be able to let you know that this is what you should do, this is what you can do, this is what you can, this is what you have to do. Your tax preparer should be able to look at your previous tax forms and look at the ones prior and say, you know what, you could have done this, you could have done that, you could have added this, you could have, you go to church, do you, your taxable, your non-taxable income, all of these things, contributions, all of these things are part of being able to reduce your taxable income. We're clear on this? Just want to make sure we're clear.
Yes.
Okay, got it? Okay. So now there's something called tax deductions and tax credits. They're two different things. I'm not going to go into detail now, but what I want to show you, guys, something you guys know about Amazon, right? And the big thing about Amazon not paying so much money when it comes to taxes.
Right.
What does Amazon do? Okay. You see that? You guys see that line?
Amazon knows the tax.
Yes.
You see it? What does it say?
That tax credits for spending on research and development are a main source of
So
tax credits.
taking the tax credit has done what? They reduce their
Your burden.
taxable liability.
Mhm.
We have to find out what are tax credits, can they be applied to us, what can we do so that we can be applicable to be able to put these tax credits on our income tax forms.
Big news this week. Too.
Got it? So I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, got it. This is from the IRS government. You know, I like the IRS government. Tax credit and deductions for individuals. All you got to do is go here. Got it? So you can look at this and figure out what is it. Now your accountant is not going to, your tax preparer, this is their job, but the better you have a tax preparer, they know exactly what to look for and how to have a conversation with you about this. Got it? So just want to share that with you. One thing that we're going to do next week, we're going to talk about business credit and deductions. That's real big when it comes to preserving your wealth and the good stuff that we don't know about, that no one ever taught us. So just wanted to share that with you. So all you can do is just go to the IRS and find the documents and say, hey, listen, this is me. Oh yeah, this is me. I can apply for this. And yeah, that's it. So just wanted to share that with you. Let me look at this. All right, I want to talk about this. Okay, 1234. All right, I'm going to open up the floor. Stacy, if you're here, I'm going to need your help. Okay, so we're going to open up the floor and let's questions and answers, guys. Wayne, open up and so everybody.
Yes. So everybody, don't be shy. This is actually one of the main reasons why we get to this is how we benefit is through the questions that we ask. Stacy, I'm not sure if you can unmute. I know you dropped something in the chat earlier. If you wanted to share that information regarding alimony.
Yeah.
All right. So what Stacy dropped in the chat, she says alimony received is reported on the 1040 or the 1040 SR and Schedule 1. So she was responding to you earlier, Charles.
But you know what's funny? I don't see it on the list.
Yeah, very true.
And it's I mean, I understand, but I don't see it. So where would we put it on this form? That's a good question. Okay.
Interesting.
Do you see that? I don't see it.
Yeah.
Stacy said it goes on line 11.
What's that?
Stacy just wrote in a chat that it's on line 11.
11?
Yeah, subtract the 10C.
Okay.
From line.
She said it goes on line 11. Okay. Okay.
Address it, person.
Okay. All right. That's good. I'm just curious about certain things when it comes to this data and information. Okay, thanks, Stace. All right, guys, any questions? Come on, hit me with the questions. No questions?
Wait,
No comment?
so referring to Sandra, referring to line 11, like with child support, you're supposed to, you know, add that into your income and have that considered. I would think alimony falls under the same thing because that's money you're receiving. Even if you had a job, you're still receiving alimony payments. It should be taxable.
Okay, that's a good question to ask. So
I
what,
mean, child support, all these other things that they can find, and alimony wouldn't be there. I don't know about that.
other income from Schedule 1, line 9, Schedule 1, line 9, okay. This is something we're gonna have to question here, other income, which is very good, okay. All right, cool. And these are, again, these are small questions that you have to ask, because if you don't, what we do is we prepare people to ask better questions more intelligently so that they can understand what they're doing when it comes to wealth management. We don't let others, we don't give them full autonomy to be able to dictate our wealth management. We do that ourselves. We just have professionals that can help us understand what we're doing. And that's what the situation is when it comes to Sunday school, so we can understand what's going on. Stacy put on child support is not taxable. Wow. Child support is not taxable. Wow.
Okay.
That's deep. Wow.
But it is considered when you're going for a mortgage, yes?
That I don't know.
Child support, alimony, any income.
No, it's not considered only if you want it to be considered.
Ah, interesting. Okay, great.
Can you say that again, Desiree?
It's not considered part of your income stream unless you want it to be included, just like disability or anything that's not earned income. If you want it to be included in a mortgage application for refinancing or a new purchase, you can, but it's not, you're not obligated to disclose it on the application.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So now I'm receiving child support. It's technically not my income, it's my children's income.
Mhm.
No, it's not, child support is not taxable because the government cannot double taxate money. Only time they can tax money is when it earns a profit. It grows, earns credit, dividends. So once it's taxation one time, it can't be taxed again. So child support, alimony, if they paid it after taxes from their net income, then those things should not be taxable.
That's deep.
But what if you're disabled and receiving Social Security disability only as your income, would that
Right.
not be?
Well, it depends. So if you're disabled, you also have a pension coming from a job or
Right.
401k, and you're at the retirement age. Now, disability, if you are getting Social Security before age 60, 65,
Mhm.
then you're on SSD, Social Security Disability. If you are over 65, you're getting Social Security Administration, the Social Security pension. Now, if you're getting SSD, you're only allowed to make a certain amount of income outside of Social Security, usually 16,000 or something like that.
17, yes.
If you make more than that, you start getting penalized basically based on how much you made over. So the best way to offset that is if you have a steady pension or allotment of annuity coming to you outside of Social Security, and if you're collecting SSD, is to allocate for additional taxes that come out of that source of income, which will lower your taxable liability.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, that's powerful information, powerful data. Wow, thank you, Desiree. I mean, powerful. Good to know.
Yeah.
Again, this is the benefit of Sunday school is this valuable information that is being dropped, and I love it. I love it. So, yes, okay. Sandra, you good?
I'm good. That was excellent. I had learned that the 17,000 limit was what you get with social, when you're getting social security disability or anything else from a friend who just retired. And she has social security disability. And so that other income she was earning, yeah,
Okay.
good. Yep.
Anyone else? Floor is open.
I have a question. So before, like when I was younger than 18, I never got taxed because I was young and I was in school. But now that I'm 18, will I get taxed even though I'm in college and I'm a student?
Desiree, can we answer that?
Yeah, well, it's not that you've never been taxed below 18, is that you probably never filed taxes if you had a job, which you should have filed taxes, but the government really doesn't like penalize teenagers who are making, income because your parents are claiming you on your tax return, on their tax returns as a dependent. If you're 18 right now and your parents are still claiming you as a dependent, you can still file taxes, but you'll file taxes as someone is claiming you as a dependent. Okay, so they still will file you if they're, obviously if you're going to college, you're not considered an emancipated adult until you are 24. So you need your parents' tax returns to apply Pell and TAP, right? In order to get those type of grants and subsidies from the government. Unless you're emancipated minor, then in the court documents, you don't need their tax information. So at 18, you can file your own taxes, but you have to indicate that you are being claimed as dependent on someone else's tax return.
Okay,
But
that was the next question I was going to ask, was that if I was to file taxes, would that affect my financial aid?
It can, depending how much money you made, okay? So if you are working a part-time job, it can affect how much grant money you'll be receiving, depending how much money you made.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good question, Destiny. Good. I mean, good. I wouldn't even thought about asking that question. Very good question.
Well, the only reason I know I don't do financial aid for school, but I used to be a director of college admissions, and I used to work dealing with financial aid packaging and stuff for students in the college. So that's the only reason I know the answer to that.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome.
Okay, anybody else? Any questions, any comments? No comments, no questions?
Yeah, just one. As far as getting money, if you're injured and you get settlement money is not taxable, correct?
Stacy?
No.
No.
That's Stacy. I'll let you answer that.
Okay. No, go ahead. You started.
And the other thing is for people who have reached full retirement age, pardon?
No,
For people who have reached full retirement age?
Desiree, can you?
For people who have reached full retirement age regarding a settlement, a lawsuit settlement.
I was moving on to the next question. What I had heard is that once you reach full retirement age, you can make as much money as you want.
That's
as long
correct.
as you declare the money you make above and beyond your retirement, as long as you declare that money to be taxed.
Right. Well, if you're making money that's earned income that requires taxation, yes, you're going to be taxing that money, but you're not going to be, your Social Security won't be penalized because you're at retirement age.
Yes.
But you're receiving Social Security disability or SSA. People who receive SSA, that means that they didn't pay enough into the system, enough the 40 credit hours in order to receive SSD, which means they get a lower allotment of money, right? They have an even lower increment of
Okay.
money they can't make. So they can't usually make any money.
My last question is, yes, my last question is, after sitting here looking at these forms, and the experiences that I have had, how do you go about finding a tax professional who actually knows what they're talking about so you can get the greatest benefit?
Well, a tax preparer should know all these loopholes and exceptions. That's what they do for a living. That's their profession. So
They don't know. They don't know.
Well, you gotta remember when you go to those during tax season, if you go to those H&R Blocks, Jackson Hewitt pop-ups in Walmart, these people are getting paid $8 an hour to process, just basically do data entry. If you really want a tax professional, you need to go to a CPA, someone who's certified public accountant, not someone who's working in the taxable season and they're getting some training to do data entry.
Awesome, awesome.
So what we're gonna,
If somebody has a moment, can somebody read the information that Stacy's dropping in the chat?
yeah, I'm about to do that real quick.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I was gonna say lawsuits are taxable because it's considered income. You know, the only time it's not taxable if you like premium if you paid premium out and you're getting you paid on a policy and they're paying a claim. If you are the person receiving the claim, then that's not taxable because you're just making yourself whole and the premium was the pay for that service. But if it's something like a car accident or, you know, a wrongful death suit and you're receiving an annuity settlement or a lump sum settlement, you got to pay tax on that. Just like a lottery is an annuity, either paid in lump sum or in installments, and you still have to pay tax on that.
Good.
Question.
Fire.
Question. It sounds like you're a person with a financial background. What's the difference between?
No, I do.
Between
a CPA.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No. What's
the difference? And one actuarial accountant.
Well, a CPA is a certified public accountant, and they know all the tax laws. They know how to the loopholes, the exceptions. They know how to prepare you for an audit and all that stuff that the IRS will put you through, right? An actuary is someone who actually they do investigations. They audit books. They are the ones that do forensic accounting, things like that. So they are more in depth in looking for stuff and making sure things match up.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Doesn't mean we're gonna have to do something for you because you hitting us with a lot of information and data. Thank you very much. Stacy wrote on the side, if you look at law settlements aren't taxable. Personal injury, I don't know what this says. Other lawsuits can be added. Law settlements aren't taxable. She also writes other lawsuits can be added as income. So yes, just going by what she said. Okay, good. I mean, this is powerful information.
That was
very actually.
Thank you, Stacy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stacy. Thanks, Des. And I'm really happy that you said that, Charles. Because I know that Desireen is actually putting together a workshop presentation. And I think that it would be an amazing opportunity. She's definitely showed that she's worth her weight in gold. If we could support that, that would be awesome.
Oh, excellent. Yes.
Great.
Definitely will. So yes, so that's the good stuff. Okay, we got 10 more minutes. So, okay, great. Any other questions, guys? And this is just the beginning of what we're going to be doing with taxes, understanding taxes. Remember, what I said is the government is going to take theirs. The object is for you to prove to them that the taxable income that you're creating is as less as possible. That's what you have to prove. And you have to look at the system, you have to look at qualifications, you have to look at tax credits, you have to look at deductions, you have to look at things that when it comes to your income, how can this be taxed to the bare minimum when it comes to my wealth, when it comes to my earning potential? Are we clear on that? And all these things are powerful when it comes to that. So yes, that's it. So okay, any other questions, guys? We've got about 9 minutes before the meeting's over. No questions?
I have put a question in the chat.
Your question in the chat. as far as deductions, it's best to claim over standardized deduction amount in order to benefit from deductions. Okay. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah,
Okay. As far as deductions, it's best to claim over the standardized deduction amount in order to benefit from deductions. Explain that. Hero.
so like when you put in for like to have deductions taken out, is it best to have enough to claim over the standard deduction amount in order to, like, I guess, benefit more? Where you would get like more money back? Because some people say, oh, I donated, I did this, I did that, but I don't think they donate enough.
Okay.
Trump administration.
Okay, that's a good question, because now we have to figure out, that's a good question, because if my income is X amount of money, but I've donated over how much money I've made, that's a very good question. Now, the question I have is, how do you prove that you donated over the amount that you've made?
I know there's certain forms that you got to basically have proof, and there's certain forms that you fill out.
And you get receipts from the donations.
Yeah. Like you have to have
There's
that
a-
proof to show that.
Here's a- how
Here's
much-
the problem though. I'm sorry to cut you off. Under the Trump administration, they raised the amount that you would have to deduct. Both Charles, Dana, and Yolanda, my sister-in-law, they could not take their deductions. I think it was 2018 or 19, because they didn't meet the criteria. It was nowhere near it.
Right. With charitable donations, there's a cap, and you have to do a certain minimum in order to even reap a benefit on your tax return. So
Yes.
to hit that threshold, you got to give a lot. I mean, a lot to get some type of benefit from charitable donations. But as for standardized deductions, I mean, if you feel you have more than standardized deductions on your tax return, then you need to make sure you have the proof and the paper trail to support it, because they will audit you. Because if you're putting more out than you're receiving in, they're gonna say, okay, something's going on here.
Right.
And
Right.
they will question that.
Right. And that's the point that that's where I wanted to go. How do you prove that if I made $10 but I donated 20, how do I prove that? And
Right.
that's the point that I was trying to make. And
Yeah.
the question, yeah. So I have a question. I made $10, but I donated my car. Is that a taxable deduction?
The car is, yes.
Okay. So is that one way of proving that I gave more than I earned?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bingo. I want you guys to see the direction of how wealthy people think. So I only made $10, but I donated my house, I donated my car, I donated my time. All of these are asset building pieces that I can say that I was able to give. Now, again, what you got to do is you got to get your tax preparer. You got to get a good person that understands the loophole,
Exactly.
how it works, so that it's not a situation where you're going to jail for tax evasion. You see what I'm saying? This is key to tax evasion. What I say is this. I say, and this is a perfectly good thing to do, is once it's prepared, have someone else take a look at it.
That's
Just
true.
make sure that, are there any discrepancies? Will you co-sign this document? Is it okay to send this in? Stacy has her hand up. Stacy, go ahead. Okay.
I just want to chime in real quick with the CARES Act, right? What they did add for donations is that you can do $300, up to $300 if you're married filing jointly, $150 per person, I think, or it's $300 per person. I'm not 100% sure, but I know you can actually put that on your taxes now as not to be included with the standard deduction. So they'll give you $300, not part of the standard deduction for 2020 and for the CARES Act.
But also if you're going to look for a tax professional and they know the loopholes, and you've run into somebody and they're telling you, well, you see your tax return and you're reviewing it and they're telling you they give you deductions for something you don't even have or something you don't even do, you need to rethink that tax professional, because ultimately at the bottom line, even though they prepared your taxes, you're ultimately responsible for it. So you might want to, find another professional, that's not going to try to, cheat the line and get you in trouble. So, shortcuts
I,
is the way to go to
I
jail.
I do agree with that, and I'm gonna say the CPAs, and why I put down in the chat that the CPA and the EAs are equivalent is because you could go different routes, but when you look up and you see the CPA and the EAs are like specialists in the tax field. So I would always say I'm a regular tax preparer right now, but I am studying to be an EA. So I would say to definitely get someone that has those credentials, like either a CPA or enrolled agent, because they do know more of the tax laws in and out. You have to take 3 or 4 tests in order to even get the certifications through the IRS. So I would recommend those people, a CPA or an enrolled agent.
Got it.
I'm bringing my taxes to you, Stacy. Charles, 3 minutes.
All right, so we we got a lot today.
We did.
Very, very good, valid information. What I think about is how many businesses should have been on this call so they can understand this whole game of taxes. A lot of businesses are failing because they don't understand the game of money and how to play it and the whole thing and the whole kit and caboodle. But it's happening. We're growing. I have a question. Who is Latoya? I'm sorry. Who's Latoya?
Hi, I'm Latoya.
And who are you, Latoya? I haven't seen your name before, have I?
Yes, I've been on here, I think 2 or 3 times before. Yeah.
Oh, just checking. I want to make sure because I don't see faces, and I want to make sure I know who's in the room.
Take a picture.
Yes, do that. You know what? We're going to do that from now on. Everybody has a picture connected to their Zoom. If they don't want to be live, you're going to have a picture. We're going to put that in place. Okay, guys, we got about 2 minutes. So what we're going to do is I just want to thank everybody for this information, especially thank Stacy and
Desiree.
you guys have been very, very helpful to understanding the minefield when it comes to taxes. And it's just entry level stuff. We didn't go into deep data and information. We're going to do that as the weeks progress. So by the end of the month, you guys are going to be like so much when it comes to the understanding taxes, you're going to know so much more than other people do out in the street. So that's clear. So I just want to show you guys something with Sunday school. Tanya and I have been working very hard this week, and we've done some major things. We actually set up the logo that you see, the green logo with Sunday school. LaQuania set that up. We set up the Instagram room. We're setting up the Facebook room. We're setting up the YouTube channel is actually set up. We're going to start putting that live. We're going to start putting the videos that we're doing on the YouTube channel, and it's becoming so large. Brother Vincent is here because he saw the YouTube channel that Corey put up, and we want to appreciate that. So a lot of things are happening. People are hitting me up. They're like, listen, I saw you guys. Corey had, I think, about 16K views on that one video that we did. And mind you, I didn't know he was going to put that up. He put that up on the strength of confidence and faith in us. He's like, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. And he did it anyway. So just wanted to share that with you. What we want is we want people to be aware when it comes to financial literacy. We want people to have a support group. We want people to know that there is a place that they can go every single Sunday where they can ask questions about financial literacy and understand what happens when it comes to wealth management and wealth preservation. And that's one of the keys that we're working on. We're working on a mission statement, all the good stuff. We are actually putting flesh to this group. And what's happening is, as I said, people are reaching out and they want to become part of this group. So we're getting big, we're getting large, and it's going to be something major in the next 6 months. I can see it now. And just wanted to share that with you. So kudos to you guys. Kudos to the recommendations. Kudos to what you've done so far. What I want you guys to understand is that what we're doing means nothing if you don't use it for yourself, if you don't apply it in your own personal life. We're not doing this just to talk and hear ourselves speak. We want you to take this data and information and apply it to yourself so that you can be better this time next year, knowing how the game of money is played and all the good stuff. So just wanted to share that with you guys. And thank you so much. It's 1:02. We're actually, technically, we're done. So I want to thank you guys. We're going to come out next week. Same old thing. We're going to talk about taxes. We're going to talk about business taxes. So it's going to be a little bit more intricate. So come with your questions. So other than that, we are done. We're thankful for everyone coming out. So I'm going to close out for this session and thank everyone and see everyone next week. Wayne,
Thank you all.
Wayne, you can hit the stop.
Thank you, Stacy.
Okay, let me know.
Thanks, Charles.
Welcome. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Thank you,
All right,
Charles
thank
and
you.
Stacy.
Okay,
Thanks,
hold on, guys.
everybody.
Don't leave yet.
Yes,
Bye.
yes,
Don't leave
yes.
yet, guys.
Awesome, everybody. Awesome. That was amazing.
Have a good
That
week.
was,
Don't leave yet, guys. We're just going to start the recording.
that was amazing.
Wayne, go ahead. And
Yeah, no, that was
Wayne, stop the
absolutely
recording?
amazing. The recording isn't stopped? Hold on.
No.